Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. This is the WRDN Morning Farm Report. I'm Brian Winnikins. Joining us this morning, Wisconsin soybean farmer Sara Stelter. And she was a part of a documentary with the United Soybean Board about soybeans. It aired on A&E over the past weekend called GroundBreaking, A Story of Innovation. And thank you to our newsmaker sponsors, including Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board, Wisconsin Corn Growers Association, Wisconsin Farmers Union, Synergy Co-op, Osteoplastics, Compeer Financial, Animal Wellness Center of Buffalo Valley, Annabis Silo, and Alcivia Co-op. And Sara, thank you for joining us today. So you were talking about soybeans and barbecue. Okay, explain.
Yes, it was a really interesting experience. I am a licensed judge with the Kansas City Barbecue Society. And the reason why some of us from the United Soybean Board became licensed judges is it's a good way to convey to people how important soybeans are in animal agriculture. Um, Pork and chickens are the largest user of soybeans in this country, and we wanted to make sure that those who are really involved in fixing those products realized how important soybeans were to those animals' diets.
Okay, to be a licensed judge, boy, Engineer Greg, who's big into the smoking meats and into that barbecue thing. Okay, what's it take to be a licensed judge? Wow.
Well, interestingly enough, it's a real serious thing. It is probably a half a day of classes where they literally go over everything you are required to do in order to be a judge and how to be a judge. And so I mean, there's no goofing around. They're very serious about how these meats are judged. And you end up actually doing some judging at the end of the class period and discuss exactly what's what. It was a very unique and fun experience.
So when you took the classes and all of that, you obviously talked a little bit about soy's role in barbecue. Were some of the folks that you've talked with, were they surprised about what you were telling them?
I would say the people that taught the class probably had been informed about the importance of soy prior to us taking it, because it was all folks from the United Soybean Board in my class that were taking it. Um, but what was a surprise was when we were judging the contest and talking to the participants about the importance of soy in the animals' diets. That was really eye-opening for a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't realize how important that was.
Talking with Sara Stelter. She is a Wisconsin soybean grower, and she's part of the United Soybean Board, and she was involved in a documentary that was on A&E this past weekend titled GroundBreaking, A Story of Innovation, talking about soybeans and some of the different things that soybeans are involved with. We've talked a little bit about that before with some folks from NASA and other folks from the United Soybean Board as well, the importance of agriculture and soybeans as well. And Sara was looking at the barbecue side of it. And Sara, the importance of soybean products for animal agriculture. It's June Dairy Month in Wisconsin. And I think a lot of folks don't realize for even not only barbecue, but the dairy industry, soybeans play a role, don't they?
Yes, they do, and that's becoming more and more of a important role in the dairy industry as well. It's my understanding that those beans are usually roasted, but the amino acids and the protein that's available in soybeans is extremely important, not only for pork and chickens, but becoming more important for the dairy industry as well.
And does you're part of the United Soybean Board, and that's the goal of the board, is to try to find new stuff, new uses for soybeans. And we've been hearing about soybean oil for asphalt, clothing, tennis shoes. What can't it do? It seems like.
And that's one of the really exciting things that the checkoff dollars has been able to provide. We've been able to get involved in some really frontline development of items that will become more and more important to general society. Besides, besides the uses you listed, there's also soybean soybean meal in the future is going to be used more and more for fire suppression in place of PFAS. So it's a totally biodegradable product that's going to become more and more out there as it gets greater use and greater development. So there's some really exciting things that our checkoff dollars are providing.
And that you mentioned the fire extinguishers, and that is something that is not only for me at the radio station or someone on the farm, but the firemen with that specialized foam made from soybeans and the airports as well. And that's another way to help protect the water.
Absolutely. And again, a lot of these new uses are because of our checkoff dollars that farmers are paying into the soybean checkoff program. Just the It's not just food use anymore and animal feed. There's so many other products that the checkoff dollars are being used for. As you mentioned, all the way from NASA, the stuff that NASA is doing with the Mars exploration, as well as in plastics and in glues and everything else. Soy is such a versatile product. It's exciting to be a part of it.
Talking with Sara Stelter this morning. She is a Wisconsin soybean grower and also with the United Soybean Board, and she's part of a new documentary on A&E that premiered over the weekend. It'll be back again. They will repeat this show called Groundbreaking, a story of innovation, talking about soybeans. Finally, Sara, before we let you go, because now you're a certified judge for barbecue, does that mean you're going to be at like Central Wisconsin State Fair or some of the county fairs? If they're going to have a judging contest, I mean, you're gonna maybe try to do some of that here back home in Wisconsin?
Well, ideally, it would be great. They usually the ones that the Kansas City barbecue judges get involved in are those that are like certified by the group. I guess the biggest thing for me is many of these contests are held during our busiest time of the season, and so then it gets a little tricky. But I would certainly like to do it again. Boy, the people I met, that the other judges I met, the participants, everybody was so open and friendly. I would love to get more involved in those judging contests. Yes.
This might be an idea for Corn Soy Expo. Just saying, have a contest as part of it. Just saying, yeah,
Hey,
and we could have it pork barbecue.
that would be wonderful, but I don't know how we'd fit it into those 2 days.
That is a pretty busy time. Well, Sara, that's going to be great. We're going to watch again for that program on A&E. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Sara Stelter, Wisconsin soybean grower and with the United Soybean Board as well. She was part of the A&E documentary Groundbreaking, a story of innovation, talking about soybeans that premiered over the weekend. It'll be back on the air. They'll be rotating it again, and you'll be able, if you missed it, you'll be able to see it again on A&E. You're listening to WRDN and the Morning